Good afternoon and welcome to the Tasmanian Hockey Centre in Hobart for this elimination final in the Women's Premier League between DiamondBacks and Derwent. This, of course, is the 3v4 final, and the loser, there is no tomorrow, there is elimination only, and the winner will go on and play the loser of the qualification final later this afternoon. Both teams showing a lot of depth this season will be looking to advance their season into next week. Diamondbacks, of course, finished fourth, just 4 points behind Derwent in third place. And let's have a look at the teams for this clash. Jana van Bladeren, the captain there, as well as Natalie Bester in goals. The #1 goal scorer for Derwent this year has been Molly Haas with 10. So they'll be looking to get her the ball in this final to try and get on the end of a couple of goals. Look at the Diamondbacks team. We've got Camilla Vaughan in goals and Emily Donovan. And she had 17 goals this season, finished fourth on the goal scorers list, so no doubt they'll be wanting to get the ball into her hands as well. It's an exciting day. The sun's just gone behind a cloud, so hopefully it'll come back out and we'll have some great spring finals hockey. It feels like finals at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre, and we are excited to get underway here. This is the elimination final clash between Derwent and Diamondbacks.
Yep, Derwent in the dark blue, Diamondbacks in the maroon. This one should be fascinating to see how they start. We see Derwent attempting to go forward straight away, and they've given up the ball to Philly Bridley. Wavi van Dorselaar down the right-hand side. Good young players found a way into the starting lineup in the second half of the year. Loose ball, Spencer's on it early. Amelia Spence attempting to run straight through that midfield, and a fantastic tackle from Philly Bridley putting it onto Spencer's foot. Early signs there of what could be a fascinating midfield battle between Hockey Roos international player Amelia Spence and up-and-coming potential future international Philly Bridley.
Certainly Spence is a bull in that midfield and she goes hard, so Philly Bridley will have her work cut out to stop her there running through the midfield. So that's going to be a key clash for today to see if we can restrict that Spence influence on the midfield. And she's found herself free again, and I think Diamondback should be a little bit wary of that, not wanting to get her too much ball early as she carries there. Keeps going, Spence now. She's into the 25. She's going to look to go straight into the circle. Reverse stick pass. Oh, a bit of a scrimmage on the line there, and it looked like Derwent had a chance to put a deflection in. A tough deflection certainly there for Canning it was. And Derwent with the restart of the long corner.
Fascinating to see Derwent not hiding their plans at all. Get the ball to Spence and let her run straight through the middle. And that is going to cause a lot of problems for this Diamondbacks defence if she's allowed to continue that or to do that freely. It's Fernandez on the right now for Diamondbacks. Attempting to go down that right-hand side again. Over the ball, Jess Cotton, formerly Jess Tremaine. I had a look at their Premier League Women's Best and Fairest trophy the other day, and wouldn't you believe the last 30 years it's basically been Jess Tremaine. Now Jess Cotton, of course, but she's a super experienced player, going to be an important part in any attempt that Derwent make for the title this season. There is Cotton again. Battle on for the ball with the youngster Van Dorselaar. Now Canning. Bit of a lighter rinse to her hair for the finals. Here is Cotton again. Interesting to see Diamondbacks putting a whole lot of pressure on the Derwent defenders when they've got the ball early, and it'll be interesting to see whether that continues as the game wears on.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting start. A couple of times I think Spence just found herself with a little bit too much space. I don't think that they necessarily need to put a tag on Spence for the whole game, but there should be someone within sort of a metre of her at any sort of free or restart. So I think Canterbury will want to be getting onto that. Coach Rowan Bridley will be, I'm sure, trying to get their team to concentrate on that.
Emily Rockefeller picking up the ball in attack and trying to recycle it. Out. Maddock under pressure as well. Now Spence harassed by Donovan. Two tackling her. It wasn't clean, says the umpire. So Spence is allowed to reset and go again. Finds Westland on the left. Westland wants to break into the circle. Great defence there from Josie Short too, just to hold her outside of that circle and not give away a cheap penalty corner. Westland takes it the required 5. Has support in Spence. She goes directly into the circle and the run isn't there from the forwards. We saw Molly Hayes attempting to get into that space, but probably the pass just a little bit too early.
So far, the Diamondbacks defence holding up well. Happy to give away frees, but just not letting Derwent run it into the circle freely, which is really a good start for them. Can't be walked over by this this strong and intimidating Derwent outfit.
Yeah, under coach Rowan Bridley, this Diamondback side has become very disciplined. And I think that's one of the things he really talks about in training and before game is not to give away anything cheap, stay strong over the ball, and that's going to be the key to their victory as well. But again, Derwent attacking that circle. Molly Hayes showing great bit of skill there, trying to get the ball back to and gives away the free hit. But we see that early running, Derwent have now had 5 or 6 of them where they've attacked that circle. Diamondbacks have had to do a lot of defensive work, but they've done it outside the circle and they've done it relatively comfortably so far. So this first couple of minutes certainly favouring Derwent, but Diamondbacks doing really well to hold on.
Yeah, look, some Derwent big names getting amongst it early. Hayes, obviously their top goal scorer, just showing some skills early, and it's always nice to get that early touch, especially in a final, to just get some confidence, get the nerves away. So they'll be happy, both her and Spence having an influence so far, so that's important. So far, Diamondbacks haven't had too much of the ball. There is a turnover now, though, but it's going to come back to Derwent. Or a little spin from Bridley, couldn't get it done. On the far side, it's Hayes again. Rockefeller with possession. They look to recycle this.
Overhead and cutting those off is Van Bladderen. She's had a really good season in the Derwent defence too. Has managed to take her game to another level. She's wearing the captain's armband, or the leg band as it is at the moment, the orange band across the right leg there. So that just goes to show the esteem that she's held in amongst that Derwent group.
Diamondbacks with a chance at some meaningful possession early. It's a dangerous ball into the midfield. It just managed to slide through, but now there's going to be a turnover again.
See Cotton getting a fair bit of the ball early on from that deep position too. Canning happy to recycle. Under pressure again. This time it was Donovan trying to take out the defender. You can see that's clearly been a plan that they've executed during the week, is to put on a really strong press on these Derwent defenders to try and create turnovers. Haven't really created too many opportunities in their forward 23 just yet, Diamondbacks, but you get a feeling that they've survived the first 5 minutes with Derwent really on form, and now if they can shift that momentum slightly, we might see the Diamondbacks create a couple of chances themselves.
Yeah, I think important for Diamondbacks when they do get a little bit of possession like they did there, not to just throw it away. They're working very hard to bring the game to Derwent, and so when they gain that possession back, they've got to hold on to it for a little bit and try and build some sort of momentum and attack. So far, any sort of meaningful possession they've just thrown it away a little bit too easily. So they just need to settle into this game, get some transfers. That'll be a key role for Jeeves to play there, to just make sure that they're calm and playing it around the back and just holding on to possession a little bit.
Improvement goes long, but it's cut off by Cotton again. She tries to bustle her way through the right-hand side, diving all over the place. Hayes collects the loose ball. She's allowed to continue running too, attacking that right-hand side, now trying to cut inside. Good tackle from Cara Gill there. Sends it down to Georgia Williams. She's got a little battle of her own there against Cotton. Williams wins it this time. She goes overhead. Not past Maddock. Oh, we see another turnover. Diamondbacks really putting pressure on the Derwent defence now. Krumink has found herself in an advanced position. Cotton once again doing the defensive work. Clears it out. Vickery. Her ball doesn't get past Jeeves. Now there's just a little bit of ping pong those last 30 seconds. A little bit of back and forth, but Diamondbacks have the free hit in a good position too.
Jeeves with the restart. Slides the ball forward. And it's just straight over the back line. That's that possession we've been talking about, Scott. Just seems like a little bit of a waste so far for this Diamondback side. And Jeeves, especially from the back, probably just needs to try and just hold on to that possession a little bit so they can get a meaningful counter-attack. They're away on the back, though. This looks like it's Krumink running towards goal. It's a 2-on-2. She can hold possession, get into the circle. And she's found a foot, and it's a short corner. No, there's played advantage. Well, I've just jumped the gun a little bit, and there has been advantage played, and it's gone across the face. And it's going to be a Derwent ball.
Emily Rockefeller did really well get that ball into the circle, and it looked like she'd earned a penalty corner too. Certainly, I reckon they probably would have preferred to have taken the penalty corner too in that situation rather than the advantage, but that's the way it's fallen.
That was Emily Rockefeller, sorry. I'd already put the short corner stat in the book, but not to be. Van Blader now on the far side, going to deliver into the circle. Interception, but it's bobbling around a little bit. Van Blader in again. Oh, just raises that one into the circle, and it's Diamondbacks just under a lot of pressure at the moment, but living to fight another day with Jeeves over the 16.
I think they can risk it with Cammy Vaughan in goals and Nicole Jeeves back there, but you don't want to live this dangerously for too long. Certainly not with the quality that Derwent has on the pitch. They do have goal scorers. Emily Rockefeller is a great young goal scorer, has had a really good season, or a really good last couple of seasons actually, but also Molly Hayes and Amelia Spence arriving late into the circle. They are goal scorers, so Diamondbacks are going to want to just tighten up a little bit now. I think they've given Derwent a good run, but they are going to want to just tighten up their defence and not give them too many chances, because I don't think it's going to be too far off one of them coming off. Canning bursting through the midfield now. She does have speed and skill. Does well to get it out to Hayes. Out on the right now. Gets her head up. Looks for the cross. That's a good ball in. Saltmarsh on the spot. Great work from Cammy Vaughan to make that initial save. Saltmarsh was in a great position. It was a fantastic ball in, and Derwent win a penalty corner.
Yeah, it's always very nervous as a defender when it's bobbling around under the keeper's pads out there. We'll have a look at that replay. It's a great run down the far side. Great ball across. It's just nervous times here. Oh, and just looks like it did tweak a Diamondback foot there.
Brilliant save by Cammy Vaughan, though. Great work by Saltmarsh to one-time it from the bobbling ball that had taken a bit of a deflection too. But Cammy Vaughan, great goalkeeper, great young goalkeeper. Oh, loose push out. Maddock has the direct shot. Vaughan makes the initial save. Fernandez with the clearance. And actually collecting it is short. She's able to send it right up the line. Cutting it off is Cotton. Jess Cotton inboard now to Canning. She is chased down, but her ball is good one into the circle again. And there's Fernandez making the clearance. There is Cotton once again. We've already called her name half a dozen times, or maybe a dozen times. She sends the ball into the circle, and it is a penalty corner, and Derwent supplying a ton of pressure now as the clock ticks down towards the end of this first quarter, and another penalty corner for them to try and take the lead here.
Yeah, you could just see that Derwent brick wall out the back. Every time Diamondbacks sort of repelled an attack, they just feed it straight back out, and it was Cotton out there who was cleaning up and putting really dangerous balls back in, and a bit of an unlucky bobble, but it has hit a Diamondback's foot, and it's great pressure from Derwent.
Hayes goes on her own. That one's just too high, or took a deflection. So Molly Hayes has scored the opening goal. So we might just need to double check who got that deflection, but it is Derwent 1-0. And, well, that's the culmination of all that pressure they've put on. And, of course, that did fire straight off Emily Donovan's stick past Cammy Vaughan. Nothing the goalkeeper could do in that situation. That's a wicked deflection into the top of the net. But that's a huge moment for Derwent. Reward for all that pressure. Hayes straight back into attack again as well.
No, it's extremely unlucky for Diamondbacks. You couldn't try and do a deflection like that if you're an attacker. So, very unlucky, and that's just what happens sometimes. But relenting Derwent pressure leading to that goal as the ball's delivered into the circle again. And again, Diamondbacks just able to push it out. They're going to have to find a spark somewhere, Scott, to be able to. They haven't looked like really scoring or having any meaningful possession in their attacking half. So Diamondbacks are going to need to get some of that.
Great run from Hayes again into the circle. Her form last week was absolutely brilliant. I think she played her best game for the whole season last week against University, and she's carried that form straight into this game too. But the one thing that I'd say for Diamondbacks is they have been in this position several times before in this season. They have soaked up a lot of initial pressure and come out strong in the second half and been able to turn matches around. So as long as Derwent don't really get a stranglehold on the scoreboard, I don't think Diamondbacks will be too disappointed. But they certainly, as we were saying before, they certainly won't want to be giving up too many more opportunities. Dobby there. Good attacking run, but she's held up by Jeeves. Jeeves will get the free hit there. Cole Jeeves, the veteran, over the ball. Uses Crawford sitting deep for the transfer, and they've found Krumink out on the left. Good ball from her, looking for Maddie Clark too, but it's just a little bit out of her reach and over the sideline, and Derwent will get it back. Van Blatteren. Long switch to Ruby Bailey, who's mistrapped, and here's a chance for Diamondbacks inside their 23.
The sort of passes that give you nightmares, just the slightly bouncing one, bit of a stitch up, and unfortunately Bailey not able to trap it all, but this does mean that Diamondbacks going to have some meaningful possession in their attacking half.
Fernandez wants to get it to Donovan. Does actually find Donovan. She twists, turns, tries to get around Maddock, and Maddock lays a really good tackle. Incredibly impressive season from Louise Maddock. Again this year, she's been ultra consistent and improving over the last few years. Now Clark inside the circle. Clark fires a bit of a half shot away. Loose ball around the spot. Lauren Smith was there. A little bit of danger, says the umpire. And Derwent will have the chance to clear it. Do have two experienced quality umpires out there today. We've got David Ponting on the far side, and we've got Daniel Harper on the broadcast side umpiring the match today. So players are in good hands.
Diamondbacks looking dangerous in their first meaningful attack into the circle, and you could almost say unlucky to get not for a penalty corner. The ball was raised, but just didn't have anyone close enough to it for it to be dangerous. So they'll be buoyed by that. A little bit of momentum there if they can just keep it up in this last 10 seconds or so.
Dobby causing a little bit of troubles for the Diamondbacks defence there. It's a 2-on-1 situation. She managed to win it. Bailey attempts to go directly into the circle, and she's beaten by the siren. So at quarter time, 1-0 to Derwent with a goal to Molly Hayes, a deflection from a penalty corner. Well, moments away from the restart here for the second quarter. Derwent do have handy 1-0 lead thanks to that goal to Molly Hayes. You are, of course, tuned in live to the Mercury's broadcast of the Elimination final from Premier League Hockey. We've got a fantastic team from Duff TV here providing the broadcast. And it is a really beautiful day here at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre in Hobart for the first week of finals. Amelia Spence wearing the number 35 for Derwent, bursting through the midfield again. We've already seen her do that a few times in the first quarter. And Hayes getting involved there as well, the goal scorer. So Derwent keen to start this second quarter the way they finished the first one, full of steam.
Yeah, Spence had a few touches early, Scott, but it's just a little bit of a quiet second half of that first quarter. So Diamondbacks can, take that, keep her under control. It looks like we maybe haven't had the clock start here. I'm not sure what's happening. Just looks like there's a bit of a pause as we restart. But yes, Amelia Spence certainly didn't have too much possession after the first 5 minutes of that quarter. So Diamondbacks can take that away. A real positive. And said it's Bridley versus Spence there in the midfield, and that is going to be a key battle as we go on for this day.
Well, we're back underway now. Here is Cotton again, and under pressure with Donovan. We've seen that a few times in that first quarter, as these Derwent defenders not given any time on the ball at all when it's in their defensive half. So Diamondbacks, I'm not sure how long they'll be able to keep that up, but certainly worthwhile at the moment to continue that as much as they can to try and force this game back onto their terms. Molly Hayes attacking down the right. She's got Clark in front of her. 3 DiamondBacks players just to lay the tackle on her.
She's looked so dangerous early, Hayes. Obviously with that deflection goal, but she's just looked dangerous as well. Spence there, giving a little bit too much room again. Plays the ball across. It's like Fernandez defended, and it's going to be a long corner. Diamondbacks continuing to just be able to just hold up. Obviously they're 1-0 down, but they have reflected a lot of these Derwent attacks. Derwent possibly just need to change the angle, which is what Spencer's doing now. Drops it out.
So Matic looking for Dobby on the top of the circle. Done that once or twice now, looking for Dobby, and she's been a little bit loose on the trap. She's a dangerous player on the ball. Hasn't quite worked out so far in these opening 20 minutes. But if that starts to connect, look out, because Dobby is very clean with the ball on her stick and very dangerous inside the circle for a young player. Scrappy battle on the far side at the moment. Hayes is the one who's won it in the end, but there's a free hit to Diamondbacks in the end. Ridley goes quickly overhead looking for a bit of space behind the Derwent defence, and there's no one there to grab it, so we do just slow down once again as Cotton retrieves the ball ready to go again from the 16.
Yeah, I think Diamondbacks realise they're going to have to counter-attack to get the best opportunities, but also they've got to balance that with not giving away possession too much. We've seen quite a few balls from them going over the back line, so that's certainly a battle that they're going to have to work on as the game goes on. So Hayes just using strength and earning the free there on the side. Spence again in the midfield. Ridley just giving her just even a foot too much room, and now she's running. She's got a player on her left. Into the circle now. Oh, that's well tackled there.
Spence over it once again to Westland. Intercepting is Jeeves. She's found Donovan deep, but with a little bit of space. She can turn and go. Throws it ahead of her. On the chase is Lauren Smith. There's a bit of foot race between her and Van Blatteren. Van Blatteren tries to clear it. Donovan is quick enough to pick it up, and now into the attacking 23. Donovan can see the circle in front of her. Finds way into the circle. Was that a foot? Saw a little bit of a call from the sidelines and from the players, but the umpire not hoodwinked by that one. Dan Harper sees right through it, and good clearance from Derwent in the end. Good sign though for Diamondbacks. It's the first time I think we've seen Emily Donovan get around the top of the circle and break in there, so if they can do a little bit more of that, they'll be dangerous.
Yeah, showed a little bit of why they are dangerous on that counter-attack. Just throwing it in behind, an old school simple move, but then just really put the pressure on the Derwent defence. A bit of a swing and a miss there from Van Blatteren, so it's Jeeves in possession, plays into the midfield. Missed trap, however, so Spence recovers. And a nice little jink inside. She's carrying it now. Always dangerous when she's running with the ball. Finds a player on the back post. It's Dobby, I think. Dobby has scored the goal, and that is coming. That's why Amelia Spence is so dangerous when she carries the ball through the midfield like that. Dobby on the back post, unmarked, all the time in the world, and a tidy little finish through the keeper's legs. And it's 2-0 Derwent, and that is why Spence is so dangerous.
Yeah, we were mentioning Dobby just 5 minutes ago and how if she can get cleaner inside the circle, she'll be dangerous. It's exactly what happened, but shows the value of Amelia Spence running through that midfield. She has missed a huge chunk of the season after having ankle surgery, so she was on a long road back from injury. She managed to get in the last 5 or 6 games and get herself back up to speed, and she has come straight into this elimination final absolutely roaring.
Yeah, you certainly can't relax for a moment because she can just be so dangerous. We saw her just jink inside, and as soon as she's got a head of steam up, she's really hard to stop without giving away a card or a penalty corner. In that stage, she got through, and Dobby did what she needed to do with a tidy finish on the back post.
Emily Rockefeller again to Spence, and she's just a little bit loose on the trap and plays it off her foot. So now there's a fair bit of work for Diamondbacks to do. We've seen them play a really high octane, high pressing, aggressive style, and it hasn't really paid off for them. And Derwent now have a 2-0 lead, so might be time for some clever coaching from the sidelines. Let's see what changes they can make to try and turn this game around. Because at the moment, you've seen now a few long passes go harmlessly over the sideline or over the baseline, just struggling to connect with some of their forwards. Derwent looking super dangerous and super efficient going forward, and Diamondbacks just struggling to match them. Dobby again, the goal scorer, looking for Emily Rockefeller in the right wing.
It'll be interesting to see how Diamondbacks play it now. Possibly, you know, they might have, in a strange way, done themselves a favour. They're 2-0 down. The style isn't currently working, so maybe they can throw off the shackles and really go aggressive. And they've got nothing to lose at this stage. Obviously, a lot of time left in this game, but haven't really looked like troubling Derwent's defence except for 1 or 2 occasions. So maybe they can just really loosen it up now and play attacking hockey. Spence involved there again. Diamondbacks regaining possession. Yeah. Clever in it.
Yeah, there will be a card for Emily Rockefeller. She's gone down to the ground, played it with her body to hold up the play, and the umpires just maybe a little bit stricter on that one because it is a final. She'll spend 2 minutes on the sideline. So a numerical advantage for Diamondbacks just for the next 2 minutes. And they haven't really done anything to set something up just yet, but let's just see if they don't try and use this next 90 seconds to crack open this Derwent defence. As it is though, Derwent just remain attacking this. Hayes once again over the ball. It's been immense in these first 25 minutes too.
Hayes really causing some problems. Every time she gets possession, she drags 3 Diamondbacks defenders to her, which inevitably leaves some teammates open, especially Spence. So she is just causing a lot of problems for that Diamondbacks defence, as she has it there again and earns the long corner.
Spence from the 23, enters on a reverse. Ball was loose for a moment. Jeeves' clearance doesn't get past Cotton, and they reload down the right through Bailey. Intercepting is Williams. Diamondbacks win the free hit. Still have 1 extra player on the field. See Emily Rockefeller ready to burst off that chair straight back into play in just a few seconds. And really, they've done well to navigate these 2 minutes so far, but he's short, winning the ball back. He's got Cara Gill making a lead into the pocket. She sends it there. Excellent ball, Gill. Great cross. Oh, and Cara Gill has got the goal, and there'll be some discussion as to whether Bailey put that in or just didn't quite clear it from the line in time. But we were just talking about that numerical advantage, and Diamondbacks have been able to take advantage of it. Josie Short with an absolute peach of a pass. She saw Cara Gill at the corner of her eye making that run, put it into space, and Gill cut it back in and did come off Bailey. Probably was going in regardless, but that's an important moment in this match. Diamondbacks getting a goal back, especially at that time, as Derwent are now back to their full 11 on the pitch.
Spence now running it through midfield, doing a good job. Bailey now again earns the free. You've got a feel for Bailey there. Just that awkward backstick trap, and unfortunately deflected it possibly into the goal, or helped it on its way. But it's Derwent now in the circle, and they've earned themselves a long corner. Still looking very dangerous as they move forward. Yeah, you've got a feel for Bailey there. Just couldn't manage to keep it out. It's a tough way to work your body around it and trap it on that backstick and keep it out, especially when your momentum's going very quickly into your own goal. So, look, she'll feel a little bit unlucky there. But a great goal, and shows how quickly things can change. Hayes attacking into the circles. We've seen her do on that far side so often today, and earning another long corner.
Yeah, not much Bailey could have done in that situation. Would have been a great effort to actually keep it out. But, yeah, very unlucky. As a defender myself, I've been on the end of many of those where you see the ball flying to the back of the net off your own stick. It's never pleasant whether it's your fault or not. Hayes again getting the ball inside the circle, and she's won a penalty corner against Maddie Clark too. So, despite that goal to Diamondbacks, Derwent have just continued on how they've been going so far this match.
It does show you how quickly things can change, though. Diamondbacks is getting a goal from nowhere, and all of a sudden they're only one down. Show that they are a dangerous team, and if they even have a sniff with in the last quarter, that they are a chance of getting up. But it is Derwent now with a penalty corner.
Interesting moment here too. The game is delicately poised. Derwent get a third here and they're in a great position. Hayes goes to self. Good initial save from Cammy Vaughan in goals, and Diamondbacks survive. Yeah, just it's an interesting couple of minutes. The umpire stops time there. I think there's an injury. It's hard to see. It might be Jeeves has just worn that one.
Umpire Ponting obviously deciding that wasn't on its way into the goal, and thus awarding a free to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, it looked a bit dangerous, and Jeeves just took an extra moment to catch her breath. Does seem to be in a little bit of pain, but if you were to make a list of the toughest players in the Premier League at the moment, should be pretty much near the top, so she'll battle on through, I imagine. Elimination final. I'd be very surprised if we saw Nicole Jeeves leave the field for anything.
Yeah, you're right, one of the hard nuts of the competition for sure, and she's been doing it for years.
Clark has a great opportunity down the right as well. She's got Cargill making another great run. Clark, the pass is just a little bit weighted to the right. It goes over the sideline, but really good signs at the moment to see Cargill playing that high striker, making some great runs. There she is again, getting a touch on it. That's fallen nicely for Van Dorselaer. Ruby Bailey does well this time in defence and clears it out. Bridley tries to flick it back into the middle, and Canning makes the interception. There's Emily Donovan, gets it back, cuts through 2, 3, finds Smith. Smith puts it on the foot of Maddock. Is that a penalty corner? Oh, and that one's off the post too. Bridley gets it back, looking for another opportunity. Flicks it back to the spot. Dangerous this time, says the umpire. So a couple of opportunities there, and I think Diamondbacks will be hard pressed. Nat Bester certainly spent a long time on that ball, which I think should have drawn a penalty corner free hit there, but I think it was Bridley with that initial shot too that took a deflection and then flew into the post, and all happening around the Diamondbacks goal mouth. And we see momentum hasn't exactly quite shifted all their way, but they are certainly getting many more chances in that circle.
Yeah, you can't help but feel a little bit unlucky there, Diamondbacks. They probably had 3 or 4 half chances for a penalty corner, but nothing decisive, and play on was the call. Clumsy tackle in the middle of the park there. And
Eliza Westland now will spend 2 minutes on the sideline. So things are just breaking for Diamondbacks. Bridley on the left again, on a reverse. Was that dangerous? Was that off a foot? Play on, says the umpire.
Bridley just trying as hard as she can, just cannot seem to find that elusive penalty corner. Somehow it stayed off a Derwent foot, and they live to fight another day. You can just feel a slight shift in momentum, Scott. Diamondbacks just really pushing here in this last few minutes, and Derwent will need to remain switched on, especially with only 10 on the park.
Yeah, we kind of spoke about it earlier about how Diamondbacks can come from nowhere and grab a bit of momentum. And that's kind of how it's happened. Nothing really sparked it off except for maybe that goal, but they've certainly enjoyed a really healthy amount of possession and opportunities in these last few minutes especially.
The pace of the Diamondbacks forwards certainly troubling the Derwent defenders. Gill is very, very quick and in behind, and just a couple times it's just made Van Bladeren and the other defenders a little bit nervous.
Rockefeller's got a lot of speed here. Emily Rockefeller has beaten Crawford into the circle. She's got a little bit of space. Cammy Vaughan makes the tackle. And it's a clean one, says the umpire. Fantastic goalkeeping. I think Vaughan maybe just lost her line a little bit and left a bit of space open. She made up for it with a great stick tackle. Shut down Emily Rockefeller straight away. Here's Clark for Diamondbacks. Van Bladeren steps in front of her player to stop that. Clark wants it going quickly. Not sure about the direction of that pass, and Maddock clears it out. But again, we see the value of Cammy Vaughan as a goalkeeper. Emily Rockefeller was free and clear into that circle. One-on-one opportunity, and Vaughan with an absolutely brilliant stick save.
Vaughan just timed that run so well, waited for the head to go down from Rockefeller and then pounced, so she couldn't get her head up, and by the time she did, she was far too late and she was right on her with a stick save. So fantastic. You see Jeeves hit the ball into the midfield, but it's a turnover.
Oh, Donovan with the turnover now. She's able to attack. Wants to go down the right-hand side. Might have just gone a little bit too far than she planned, and the siren beats her, but it's half-time and it's 2-1, and we do have a massive match on our hands now, Harry.
Certainly do, Scott. That second quarter from DiamondBacks, they just showed why they're in the top 4 spot this year. They're obviously happy to take the pressure, absorb, and then they looked really good on the counter with that pace, especially Gill in behind, causing a lot of problems for the Derwent defenders, who need to make sure that they stay switched on and are always in a position to be able to counter any quick turnover. But certainly Derwent also strong there, got another goal, and they look like they're going to have chances. So Diamondbacks will really need to have a high conversion rate whether they go forward. Somehow Philly Bridley didn't get more than one PC up there. It just seemed like a lot of half chances that didn't fall her way, just missing feet. So Diamondbacks can almost count themselves a little bit unlucky not to have a PC or perhaps another goal. So this is an interesting game, and that took a turn in that second quarter, and it's game on here at the Hockey Centre.
Yeah, fascinating the way it started. Derwent came out flying, lots of possession, got those 2 early goals. We thought Diamondbacks were done and dusted, but then they were just able to switch that momentum, get that goal, and open things back up again. I think we're in for a fascinating second half.
Looking forward to a thrilling second half after Diamondbacks just fought their way back into the game that quarter and just looked dangerous on the counter-attack. Their pace up front, just troubling the Derwent defence. So it'll be interesting to see how this half starts. With me again is Scott Edwards. Scott, welcome to the second half. How do you read this one?
Yeah, thanks, Harry. I think we're set up for a really fascinating second half, to be honest. What I think we'll see is the game will start to open up. It did start to open up towards the end of that first half. I think it will open up a whole lot more. We'll start to see some of the speedy players for both Derwent and Diamondbacks find a little bit of extra space. The other thing, Donovan tries to get an early attack going through Bridley. Shut down by Maddock, and now Westland with the ball. Doesn't get it too far. Maddock. Again a turnover now, Cara Gill, the goal scorer from the first half. Can't get it past Cotton. Westland, again, she's shut down by Donovan. Diamondbacks putting a whole heap of pressure on Derwent defence at the moment. And it'll be a Derwent free hit.
How do you see the midfield battle of Spence Bridley? Obviously Spence with that run which led to the Derwent goal, but Bridley just got involved late in that second quarter.
Yeah, I think what we'll see in the second half is some of those matchups be played out much more than they were in the first half. I think the first half we saw players get a little bit of extra space on their players, and the game was maybe not quite as open as what it could be. What I think is we'll see now direct one-on-one battles. We've already seen it with Donovan and Maddock in there, Donovan and Westland. Here's Sophie Krumik attacking the left for Diamondbacks now. Desperate clearance from Spence straight over the sideline. No nonsense there. Krumik brings it back in for Donovan. She tries to turn Westland too. Yeah, I think we're going to start to see some of those matchups really start to play a huge part in how this game goes. Great work by Spence.
Good work from Bridley on Spence. Just a few stopping tackles, making sure she's not going to sneak through and the ball just goes wide on the back line. I like that from Bridley. She's not just going to let Spence walk through. If Spence is going to go through, she's going to have to go through a body and she's going to have to earn it. And if Bridley can stay on that fine line between card and no card, then I think she's doing a really good job, because what you cannot do is let Spence get any momentum as she attacks into the circle. So Ridley will be good, and it'll frustrate Spence as well, which is definitely what you want if you're a Diamondbacks player. So I'm sure Coach Rowan Ridley will have had some special advice for his daughter about how to stop Spence and also just get under her skin a little bit, which he did there with that sort of physical tackle in the middle of the park.
Yep, we can see them running shoulder to shoulder right now, so they are playing directly on each other for the moment. And any ball that goes towards any of those players is going to be hardly contested. So we know Bridley is actually a really good attacking player too, but she's clearly playing a more defensive role just at the moment for her side. She does have the ball here. Uses Krumik down the left, and she's missed that trap. Be interesting to see whether the decision to send Bridley to Spence directly was to lock down Spence or to make her accountable. Just be interesting to see what the thinking is behind that, because I think having Spence play a more accountable role and try and prevent Bridley from getting too much of the ball would be a way to actually curb her influence on the game rather than just trying to mark her out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Spence is pretty used to having it her way on the field, so I think Coach Rowan Bridley will have put Philly Bridley on. Just create accountability, force her to mark, and do something that she doesn't necessarily love doing. She likes to be free and running through that midfield. Great tackle from Jeeves in the middle. No nonsense, just puts it forward.
Smith sends it into the circle. You see Jeeves in an advanced position up the pitch too, and we've seen that a few times this season too, is instead of hanging back and being that anchor defender, she gets right up the pitch and tries to intercept and create. So there has been a couple of interesting moves from the Diamondbacks coaching staff, which does include, of course, former Hockey-Roo, Bianca Langham-Pritchard as well. That one's off the body of Van Blatteren. Diamondbacks have a free hit early, taken by Smith. Smith makes a beeline directly for the circle, and there's three Derwent defenders there. It's cleared straight out the other side.
It's been all Diamondbacks so far this third term, but you feel like they just really need to capitalise from any momentum that they have, because you know Derwent are going to come again, and they're going to come again a few times. So whilst they've got the momentum, Diamondbacks just really need to get some clean entries into that circle and look at getting some attacking shots and hopefully penalty corner opportunities.
Ridley was her 5 apparently, so she's fine with that tackle. Tremaine brought down. The umpire is going to have a bit of a word. Who's that for? Emily Donovan. He didn't like that tackle, and he sent Emily Donovan off for 2 minutes. So that's an important loss for Diamondbacks, because she is among their best players.
Just going to say to you, Donovan has been causing a few problems up front. She carries the ball really well, so we had an important 2 minutes here for Diamondbacks to be able to gain some composure. See Westland now attacking the circle. Sneaks in there, passes to the top. There's no one home though. Who's going to recover first? It is Derwent, but over the baseline, and it's going to be a 16 restart.
Yeah, Lauren Canning working with not a whole lot of space between those defenders, managed to still fire away a shot the one time after a good square back from Westland. Short under pressure. Clark under pressure. The ball comes off a Derwent stick though, so they'll advance up the pitch. Good 10 metres near their half line. Maddie Clark, a good prospect from the northwest. She's played a number of games down here with Diamondbacks. Had a really good grand final last year in that grand final that Diamondbacks lost. She's a little bit quiet in that first half too, so she's one player who she can find her way into this match. She'll be very dangerous for Diamondbacks. Williams, good cross into the circle. That's dangerous. Bester tries to boot it out of the circle. Getting a touch on that is Vickery, and now Emily Rockefeller. No one in front of her, so she's happy to go sideways to Hayes. Good ball control from Hayes. Puts it back into the spot. Vickery can keep this in too. She does, into the circle. Cuts it back. Easy clearance for Crawford. See, Hayes has really run that baseline well all match. Has probably almost close to 10 of those in the match where she's run the baseline and tried to feed it back. Not a whole lot of success from it so far, but it looks dangerous, and it certainly puts the Diamondbacks defenders under pressure.
It certainly drags a few Diamondbacks to her as well, so it just feels like it's a matter of time until she sneaks around there and maybe can find a free pass inside the circle. It's Diamondbacks up in attack now. Bridley over it. Fires a quick one. Advantage being played there. Ridley v Spence, what we've come to see. Spence gets a stick in there. It's a good touch, but it spills to the top of the circle. In contest.
Gill cuts it back to the top of the circle to assist to Donovan. Spence with an important tackle there, and Spence wants to go. Not too much in front of her. She looks for the run of Hayes. It's a bit weak on the initial trap, but she gets there, keeps it in along the left wing. Runs that baseline again, gets separation, cuts it back. It's Nicole Jeeves there. Oh, her clearance isn't great. She's actually sent it into the body of Vickery, and because Vickery was inside the circle, she's earned a penalty corner and a whole lot of pain to go with it.
Or at least she was in attack and not in defence. There's nothing worse than that. Hayes just showing her class around the outside with that long run, and you can't help but feel there probably should have been a Derwent attacker in that exact spot where Jeeves was, where she intercepted. Luckily for Derwent, Jeeves' clearance was high, but you just feel like Hayes doing a lot of work, and teammates just need to support her and get in those right spots. Back post spot. Stuff that gets drilled into you quite early as a youngster. But it is Derwent here with a penalty corner opportunity. Oh, and a good save. An interesting push out there from Spence. Didn't go to the right spot. And the trapper received it inside the circle, so had to take it back outside. And then somehow, after all that, still had the time for a clean shot, Derwent. So a good save there from Vaughan, who has kept them in it at this stage. And it'll be interesting later on. She could have a big say in this game if she continues to play well.
Yeah, we've seen both Max Larkin in the men's elimination final earlier today and Cammy Vaughan today have enormous games. So shout out to Stephen Welch and the Shot Stoppers goalkeeping group there. Some of his students having a big say in the elimination final so far. Hayes again with the ball down the left-hand side. Dobby now attacking the baseline. They'll get a 23 restart. Spence over the ball. She loves this position. Might just be time to move Hayes out onto the right, though. She's gone along that left-hand baseline a few times on a reverse. She's getting into a dangerous position. I just wonder whether she might not be more dangerous coming down the right, but it's spilled for Dobby into the circle. Good tackle from Clark. Maddock. Spence. Battle on for possession. And it's every half-loose ball is a tough contest to try and win back possession.
I think you're right about Hayes just swapping it up, changing sides a little bit. Doesn't have to be a formal change or anything like that, but just not letting the defenders getting too used to the same attack every time. You know, make that other side defender a little bit nervous and just try different angles.
Now Saltmarsh on the right. Good cross back into the circle, chopping it off is Jeeves. It'll be a 23 for Derwent. Yeah, it's just Derwent attack has just been a little bit one note these last 10 minutes, and they haven't got any reward for it either. So, Coach Keegan Popovsky, might be time for him to throw a couple of big moves in there. We know they've got that 1-goal lead. Dobby again feeds it back to the top of the circle, and they've won a penalty corner. It's hit a foot, so yeah, good moment for Derwent. You feel 2-1 is an uncomfortable lead in an elimination final.
As we watch the replay, just looked a little bit easy there. Westland just chipped it past a player, gave to Dobby on the back line, and then straight into a foot. And I think DiamondBacks be disappointed with that. Just a little bit too easy. And against a side like Derwent, you just can't. You have to make them work really hard for their goals and their penalty corners, and gifting them is just going to make it very difficult. So. And
Louise Maddock lining up. She scored a number of goals from penalty corner, got a very clean hit, and it's a missed trap. So chance for a counter-attack. Sophie Krumick has Van Dorselier up the left wing. She gets it. She's got Fernandez making another run. So we had a trio of 3 of the youngest players out on the pitch. I think they're all 15 or younger. Trying to make an attack there for DiamondBacks, but Beth Dobby brings it back. Got Saltmarsh in the circle, but not much else. Regains possession. He's got a free hit just outside the circle. Moves quickly. Spence gets toppled, penalty corner. So Derwent just a little bit of extra pressure. Sorry, not Spence. But Derwent we see just getting into that circle a couple of extra times and getting some results now for their efforts.
Yeah, a little bit of end-to-end hockey there, and I think the Diamondbacks will be a little bit disappointed here as we watch the replay. Just sort of went to, sort of burrowed underneath a little bit. It was close to see, if the Western was backing into it there or not, but I think benefit of the doubt goes to the attacker there in the short corner. But Diamondbacks playing some end-to-end stuff here. Spence injects. They managed to repel that. Diamondbacks will be disappointed as they countered there from that original PC. They just needed to use a little bit quicker and not allow the Derwent defence to get back, which they then did, and Derwent went up the other end and scored a penalty corner. So that's some lessons for this young Diamondback side to just try and keep it moving, especially on a penalty corner take over. And another turnover here as Spence gains possession in the middle of the field. Hayes on her side, just attacking it.
Can certainly see the effects of the speed this game's been played at starting to come into play with you saw Jeeves attempt an overhead, went straight to the space of Spence, which is not something you'd normally see Jeeves do. Normally be smart enough to throw that far away from one of the most dangerous players on the pitch. We're just see one or two passes go a bit errant and one or two traps missed. So it is a nice warm day out there in the sun at the Tasmanian Hockey Centre too. Of course, that does lead to potentially far more open hockey. Westland puts it in the circle. Hayes turns onto a reverse and she spins back onto a four-stick, fires away a shot. It's past the left-hand post of Cammy Vaughan. Did take a deflection off the Diamondbacks defender, so has another chance to reload.
Spence receiving some close attention there. And well defended from the Diamondbacks. Just earned the free. It was Donovan there, just showing a lot of strength and courage, not letting Spence just walk into the circle, which is...
She's copped a whack on a hand, and Emily Donovan has just spent a little bit of time on the sideline with a broken thumb, I believe, from just a month or two ago. So hoping it's not the same hand, but part of me is probably hoping it was the same hand, so she's still got one good one.
Absolutely, and showing a lot of courage there, and hopefully inspiring her teammates, just showing how tough you need to be in these sort of finals. So I think that's an inspirational move. It didn't look like much, but just not letting Spence walk into the circle was a big deal.
Canning does well to create space. Hayes mishit. Maddie Clark able to do the defensive work. Wanted to team up with Gill on the right-hand side. Ruby Bailey was there providing additional pressure, and she's over the ball for Derwent. Not a whole lot of time left in this quarter either. Derwent do still hold a 2-1 lead. I feel like we might have just forgotten that as Featherstone picks the ball up on the right-hand side. Because Derwent have seemed a little bit more desperate in their play as well. So even they're feeling the effects of some of that pressure that the Diamondbacks have put on them.
Well, that's a great ball down the line. Smith on the end of it. Unable to control it though, but it's going to be her possession again on the sideline. Dribbles to Spencer, who just knows there's not much time left, so Derwent just going to want to hold the ball up and take their 2-1 lead, but Jeeves intercepts as she does so well. A little bit of end-to-end stuff here, just pinging around a few different sticks, and that's three-quarter time. And Derwent go in, 2-1, three-quarter time, 1 quarter to play until Derwent are in the next stage of this, unless Diamondbacks can find a goal from somewhere. I do feel, Scott, as though Diamondbacks may not hate this position they're in. Obviously, they'd like to be in front, but only 2-1 down, a Derwent side that's been quite dominant. I think they can smell a little bit of an upset here from this position. I think they'll be excited by the fact they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I think if there's one team in the competition who likes chasing and might even prefer chasing, as weird as that sounds, it is that Diamondback side. Yeah, really looking forward to these final 15 minutes. This has been a cracking elimination final. so far, and it is all on the line now in this final quarter for both these sides. As we know, loser is out. Only the winner gets to go through, and Hayes, there she is on the right-hand side, as we spoke about, attacking down the right and causing all sorts of troubles. Dobby picks up the loose ball, puts it back to Hayes, and it's in the circle. And the last one to touch it was Emily Rockefeller, and they have started on absolute fire. They made those changes we spoke about, Harry, and it's paid huge dividends for them.
How good was Emily Hayes down that right-hand side? The 1-2, getting it back. We're watching the replay here. Look at her work hard to get into position now. Again, gets it back to the post, and it's put in. That's just an amazing team goal to start the last quarter, and that's exactly what Diamondbacks did not want. That's close to one of the best goals of the season, I'd say, so far as the team goal.
And I can almost, I could almost hear Keegan Popovsky there in that Derwent huddle as their coach, making those changes and telling them exactly what they could have done perfectly to start this quarter, and they've done it exactly as he probably would have said. Dobby has been brilliant after that first quarter, and again laying on another assist for a goal. Here they go again down the right-hand side. Dobby and Hayes involved again, so really masterstroke of coaching to make that switch, and it's causing all sorts of troubles.
Do you think that perhaps they had the stream on in the coach's box, able to hear you, Scott, suggesting Hayes go down the right-hand side? Because here she is again on the right-hand side, causing all sorts of problems.
Wouldn't surprise me at all if word got back to them that two of the sharpest hockey minds in the state have been giving them some great advice, Harry.
Certainly.
Clark now for Diamondbacks. A little bit of space in the midfield for her to work in. The ball spills nicely for Gill on the left. Only Van Blatteren in front of her, but the cross wasn't great, and Cotton has cut it off. He's done a lot of that today too. Now Donovan. Back to Clark, getting involved in this final quarter. Krumink. Now Gill. Gill's allowed to continue. Puts it onto the foot of Cotton and wins a free hit. Donovan takes it quickly. Was that 5? She's into the circle, and it's a penalty corner. Talk us through that one, Harry.
Not exactly sure what the penalty corner was for. Watch the replay here. Maybe not being 5 perhaps on the restart. See there. Oh, it looked like that was 5 to me, so I'm not 100% sure what the call was for, but just great attacking play from the Diamondbacks. Just putting, if you take your freeze early, if you autoplay, you put defence under pressure and they make mistakes. And that was a classic example. This is very similar to the men's elimination final. Similar score, similar position. This is a crucial penalty corner for Diamondbacks. Jeeves goes bang with the hit, and the deflection comes up, and it's been deemed dangerous, so Diamondbacks will get another go.
Great connection by Jeeves on that penalty corner strike. Good save by Bester. Reasonably straightforward, but we know how deadly Jeeves can be from this position. I think that was their first penalty corner for the match too, so second opportunity here to reload. I reckon they'll go exactly the same. This time Jeeves doesn't quite make the connection. The ball is still free inside the circle. Van Dorsalier sends it towards the spot. A little bit of discussion with the umpire, and he says it'll be a long corner, although he has just stopped time.
Having a chat between the two of them, the umpires, just conferring. They've got their radio microphones in, which is always great. Good to see the umpires chatting to each other. That's what they should be doing, supporting, and just making sure that they're on the same page. So interesting to see. Just the ball wasn't put right in the right spot for Jeeves on that penalty corner, just a little bit too far out in front, and they have indeed changed it to a penalty corner. I'm not sure what the call was, but it looked to me that there might have been hints of a foot on the clearance, so that's what we'll say. But this is going to be Diamondbacks' third penalty corner in a row. As we watch the replay here, was there the first?
Yeah, just the foot of Matic, looks like. Injection comes in. Ridley now with the shot. Still loose inside that circle. Donovan over the top. Oh, and tucking it away is a second goal. Might have been Emily Donovan with the final touch. There was a little bit of congestion around the spot, but Diamondbacks have got their second. Still trailing by a goal, of course. But you saw Donovan do the initial work. Gill, it was Cara Gill with her second actually, so she's the one who got the final touch. Send it in to the back of the net, and Diamondbacks reward for effort. Get back into this match, still trailing by a goal though.
It's great to see the change up on that penalty corner. Philippa Bridley just came out to this near side a little bit, changed the angles, and that was an exciting change. You've got to be brave to change up the penalty corner angle. As we see Spence running through the midfield, unable to get that hit away. She's just tired from the tackles from Diamondbacks, but again we find on the far side it's Hayes.
It's interesting, Diamondbacks struggled with their penalty corner conversions early in the year, and they did use that one out to Bridley quite often early on. I think they might have just put it back in the back pocket in the second half of the year, but they've brought it out again to great effect.
There's always some great cat and mouse with penalty corners. You don't want to show everything early in finals. You don't want to show your hands. So often you leave some of your tricks in the bag until you really need them, which may have been what they've done then. Van Blatteren on the right side. Hits it in and across. Finds Canning in the back post. Has she got a foot there, Canning? Looks like there has been a foot or a chop of some sort, and Derwent win that free. And Van Blatteren, just that angle a little bit deeper on this right-hand side, just changing up that angle of attack a little bit as we watch the replay. Across the face there, Canning with a bit of a mistrap, but able to keep it in the circle, and then there was a foot and a hack that then followed. So I'll tell you what, they've got its game on here in this elimination final with roughly 10 minutes to go, and wow, it's exciting. And if Diamondbacks can not let this one go in, then I'd say it's they're a really good chance.
Bit of a variation there. Went to Westland on the far left-hand side of the circle. Yeah, it's been a cracking elimination final, and we're up for a really, really good 10 minutes now. 1 goal deficit, Derwent in front, 3-2. Seeking to really make sure of it because they know how dangerous the Maroons have been so far. Donovan is down though. She's put her body on the line for her team today. Like I said, it's elimination final, so if you're losing, these are your final minutes of the whole season. Why not put your body on the line? Spence does brilliantly to break into the circle and can't quite get low enough on that ankle. Rice smile there from Spence, is usually so clean on those opportunities, and having missed such a large chunk of hockey over the last 12 months. Muscle memory on that, just not quite back yet.
No, Diamondbacks need to be a little bit careful though. They can't just let her walk into the circle. Spence so dangerous. They've got to really make sure that doesn't happen. Otherwise, she's very unlikely to do that again if she gets any space in the circle, Spence. So Diamondbacks need to be wary as we move in well inside this last 10 minutes. There's Hayes again, cutting inside this time, which is a nice change up. Hits it in, but no one home there for Diamondbacks, with Dobby not able to get to the front. This is a strong patch here from Derwent though. Diamondbacks just need to hold on and repel this until they can get some possession themselves. There is Dobby, jinking it inside. Looks like it's just hit a Derwent foot just before, Hayes' foot just before it went rolled onto the Diamondbacks' foot. So Diamondbacks live to fight another day.
Jeeves to Donovan. Smith misses the trap. Just a little bit of a lull now in this match. In the last minute or so, I think this side is just preparing for a final few minutes to try and really take this match. Van Blatteren goes long. She will find Hayes though. Into the circle. Jeeves lays a good initial tackle, but Hayes does well to skip through too. She's thrown to the circle. Great save by Vaughan. Ball still loose. Westland turns. Tries to feed Dobby. Desperate touch from Clark to clear it out. Spencer's the one who picks it up first. Loses her stick in the process, but wins a free hit.
Well done by Smith. Just managing somehow to knock Spencer's stick out of her hand, meaning that she couldn't walk into the circle. Let's do it now. Work it around the far side. Bailey is going to rotate it back out.
Cotton That one's raised again, and that one has struck Emily Donovan, and Cotton, with apologies to her old mate, Emily Donovan. They've played plenty of state hockey together. Donovan, I think that's number 4 or 5 that she's worn today, so she's going to have a few extra bruises by the end of this match too.
Diamondbacks just need to find a way to get some meaningful possession. It's been all Derwent so far in the last 4 or 5 minutes, so Diamondbacks just need to find a way, get some possession, gain some momentum, and turn it into some sort of attacking play. They're going to have the opportunity to do that now with a 16 over the back line. So, how are they going to approach this one, Scott?
Yeah, I think just struggled for possession these last couple of minutes, Diamondbacks, and their structures just seem to have fallen apart a little bit, and we see even then Jeeves desperately trying to go long. More of a hit and hope than anything, although we have seen Maddie Clark get more of the ball through in midfield, so there's a good sign. Not sure why she got a free against her there, but Saltmarsh is quick to get it moving, and now Spence sends it into the left pocket. Picking it up is Rockefeller. Now Canning wants to attack the left-hand baseline too. Emily Rockefeller, the younger sister of Sophie Rockefeller, who is a star for the Tassie Tigers back in 2019 when they played their first Hockey 1 season, and also a Premier League All-Star and huge goal scorer. Unable to play in the final series this year because she's moved overseas to the United States for study opportunities. But no doubt if Sophie is able to tune into this game, she will be. So shout out to Sophie Rockefeller if you are tuned into the live stream over in the United States. I'm not sure what the time is over there. It might be early in the morning or late in the evening, but certainly a pair of famous young sisters in the Premier League are the Rockefellers, and they're now down to 1. Emily holding the candle now. Maddock over the top, overhead this time. Clark cuts it off. Goes inboard to Bridley, who has been quiet for most of this match. She's under enormous pressure from Spence too. Comes to nothing as well, so there will be a card though, and it is for Spence. So crucial moment in this match with about 5 minutes left on the clock, and Spence is going to be off for 2 of them.
Yeah, it was just a little bit aggressive from Spence, just a little bit choppy. I'm surprised that Ridley didn't earn the free there, though. It's time to pay advantage. I'm not sure there was any, so they consider a little bit stiff, but I tell you what, not long to go and Spence off for 2 minutes. It is a great chance here for the Diamondbacks.
Westland does really well. Van Blatteren tries to go down the right-hand side. Jeeves cuts it off. She wants to go straight through the middle now. Good touch from Donovan, but the ball spills far into their right pocket. And Derwent will have the free hit deep in their defence with a player down.
There's a sense of urgency around the field at the moment. You can hear it. The crowd is on edge. The players are on edge. It's a huge last few minutes here in this game. Diamondbacks just need to find a way to get the ball back and get a meaningful attack.
Cotton under enormous pressure there. Donovan was bearing down on her really quickly. Oh, great team movement to get that out of defence though. Van Blatteren just too heavy on her final touch, but they're under great pressure and worked their way out of that really cleverly. Fernandez down the line. So the youngster Emily Rawson has popped onto the field as well for a little bit of finals experience for the Diamondbacks. Good to see her making an appearance in this match. Fernandez goes long again. Bubbly ball, hard to be under pressure. There is Rawson. There's a teammate, Krumik, sends it into the circle. Great touch by Bridley, and she's put it just wide of the post. That was the moment, Harry. That was the moment.
Oh, it certainly was. What a deft touch. You'll see here a second on the replay. Bridley just couldn't get it inside that post, and well, is that the last chance they're going to have?
Oh. Krumik did really well to get that ball in. Great position by Bridley. Spencer's back on the field too, so her penalty is up.
Experience being showed by Van Bladeren there, earning the free under a lot of pressure. Derwent look to just slow it down now. They can transfer if they want to. And yet looks like they're going to do it. Just eat up a few seconds. Get some possession. Bailey on the far side. Dumps it up the line. And it's going to be a Derwent hit just on halfway.
Bailey to Canning. Canning does really well to skip past 2 or 3 tackles. Creates a little bit of space for her. She's going directly into the circle now too. Fantastic intercept there from Giselle Fernandez. She sends a great long ball down into the path of Rawson. Maddock beats her to it. Maddock, well, actually enough pressure from Emily Rawson has made Maddock put it over the sideline. Donovan wants to go quickly. Not too many options up ahead of her, and she's just sent it straight over the baseline. So I think Donovan could have actually spent a little bit more time on that ball, pick the pass a little bit clearer, but we can see this game coming to a huge climax. And there's maybe there's enough time for 1 or 2 really good opportunities for either side. At the moment it's in possession of the Diamondbacks. Jeeves to Clark has been really good in this final quarter. Under heavy pressure from Westland. Clark does well to put it on her foot. Again looks to move it quickly. Good ball out to Rawson. She slips. Diamondbacks get the ball back inside their 23. Clark uses Jeeves. Jeeves will like to be in this position. Gets her eyes up. She can see there's players on the spot. Sends it straight to them. Important touch from Cotton. Bridley on a reverse. Sends it high and wide.
Oh, the game was set up there for Bridley, the exact person you'd wanted to have on their back stick in the attacking circle, but she just couldn't keep her shot down, and it sailed over, and there's not much time left now.
Umpire, just not sure. I think umpire was signaling that it was going to be a long corner or 15 metre out for Derwent, and Diamondbacks probably just lost 20 to 30 seconds. It would have been very useful to them as well in that confusion. Bailey misses the trap. Oh, and the whistle and the siren goes and beats them all to it. So what an absolutely fantastic elimination final, Harry. Absolutely cracking match. We saw 2 teams in excellent form go head to head, put everything out on the pitch, and it's Derwent who have walked away with a 3-2 win, and they'll continue on to the prelim.
Yeah, it was an amazing last quarter. Bridley with a couple of really good opportunities to get the Diamondbacks back even, but in the end, Derwent defence just too strong. And all day just looking really capable, calm across the ground, and deserved to win at the end. But Diamondbacks just are so dangerous from that position from behind. So they're a young team and they'll learn from that, but it's going to hurt there for a while. But just such a good last quarter, and I had all the twists and turns. Spence getting sent off there, down to 10 men, Derwent, and Diamondbacks just couldn't get that last goal, so close.
Well, we've just seen 2 really good elimination finals actually, and a little bit more clarity now over the way that finals are going to shape up. We know Canterbury won in the men's elimination final, and now joining them in the prelims will be Derwent.